But I want to start with something else because it just comes up so often that it's like this well-kept secret, and I don't know, I think it's important to talk about it. We live in, as people have put it, an age of information, in which we can get information. And it's a wonderful thing because I remember when we couldn't get information. And I remember even when it was not fashionable to be smart. Some of you, especially younger ones, you may think that that's incomprehensible. But when you go back to, say, when I was a teenager, there were no smart male actors, male leads in films. It was Tab Hunter and Annette Funicello. So there were smartness, being all right to be smart in our culture is a relatively new thing. There were even ads where there would be this smart guy lying on the beach, and then there was this big guy kicking sand in his face. And some of the words that we now kind of take positively, like nerd or geek or stuff, originally those were punitive words. Those were words which people were using to criticize people who had an interest in technology and things like that. So being smart is an informationist thing. You didn't used to be able to find out even where anything was. You'd have to look it up in the Yellow Pages, which was a nightmare if you had a Yellow Pages. And even if you did, it didn't mean you knew how to get there. And we didn't have cell phones, and all that. So information is now a wonderful thing. It'll get better too. I mean, we now have search. The next step will be that which they're starting on, which will be that you just go to your computer and type in a question and you get an answer. However, in working on yourself and self-development, the trap there is that aside from the wonderful uses of information, that you start to believe that everything would change for you if you only had more information. And that's not true. All the practices that people have done throughout history, psychological, spiritual, physical, all those are available to you. You can find out what they are. Not just on the internet, but you didn't used to be able to get those things in books either. When I started practicing Zen, we didn't have translations yet of all the koans. So everything that you would want to know is available to you. Secondly, another area that I talk about sometimes is this idea of talent. People believe that other people can do things that they can't do because they have more talent than them, which is disempowering because you can't do anything because there's nothing you can do about the fact that somebody else is more talented or brighter than you. So what I say sometimes is that we want to go next from an age of information to an age of amplification, which would be like a training age. When people would understand that to develop certain things, that you would have to do that through training, not just information. Now, this is so obviously true that we can't see it. Ask any athlete, ask any dancer, ask any artist, ask anybody that does anything like that, and they know this, but it's so true that we miss it. I had a conversation with somebody about writing books today, and Katie, who you all know, and she was talking about writing a book, and she's creative and she's artistic, or story or something, and I know she's creative and artistic enough to do it. And what I talked to her about was, there's another side to that, which is the reason people don't write books is not because they are necessarily not creative or intelligent enough, it's because they can't do the discipline of sitting in one place and writing day after day after day after day. Now, we would understand, let's just say, one of the favorite habits of people on the planet is getting drunk, drinking and getting drunk. You would understand if you were trying to get drunk and you had a drink in front of you, and I was saying to you, you're going to have to drink a bunch of drinks. You would not start theorizing to me about the nature of drinking, alcohol, the information about what it does to your system. If you did, and you're trying to get drunk, which is not necessarily a good idea, but I would say to you, none of this is going to work. You have to keep drinking. That's the only way you're going to get drunk. No matter what you think about drinking, it will not make you more drunk. If you want to get fat, and you put food in front of you, information will help a little bit. Information will tell you that you should eat sugary foods and fried foods and fatty foods, and that will help you to get fat. But now that you have that information, unless you stick a bunch of that food in your mouth, it's not going to matter. So, what I try to tell you, as often as I can, everybody else saying, the missing thing people don't understand is exactly what we have to teach, and it's called effort. Effort, will, commitment, consistency, discipline. That is how people actually manage to do extraordinary things, and even unextraordinary things. You can think about divorcing your husband from now to 10 years from now. It is not going to get you a divorce until you make the effort to tell him, I want a divorce, and go to a lawyer and get a divorce. This is so simple, I feel stupid talking about it, and yet it's so true that I feel stupid not talking about it. Because I feel like I'm being misleading. Even in the practices where we do, we'll talk about inner considering, we'll talk about external considering, we'll talk about being objective to yourself, talk about forgetting the self. And if you get into, okay, now I know what it's about, you're wrong. Because without effort combined with those things, it doesn't matter. Without a vital, alive spirit that is working and making an effort, it doesn't matter. I think also, I forgot Julie's here. Julie's been working on her dissertation for a while. Julie's a great writer, she's very intelligent. But the hard struggle for her has been to sit down and write the dissertation. No matter what you know about tennis, if you don't practice your forehand, and in fact, let me give you a better illustration. You can know everything about tennis, and you can even have all the skills. If you don't hit the ball hard enough in professional tennis, it won't matter. They'll just blow you off the court. You can really just, somebody who doesn't play tennis might say, well, can't you be like great placement? No, you can't, because the other guy's placement is fine too. And if you hit a ball at 50 miles an hour, it's going to come back at you so fast that you have no idea. Now, it won't come back fast and pace because he has no pace to work off of, but it will be returned very abruptly, quickly, at a sharp angle. You won't be able to get it. So, effort is the secret. And all the things, I'm asking you to do something really strange in training, which is to take all those things you knew before and were so important, which is getting more information, having more understanding, knowing more, all of that, and put it on the second burner. It's important, it has value, but put it on the second burner. If you want to change your life, if you want to reach your potential, if you want to evolve, if you want to develop, put all your force, behind energy, behind commitment. If you find that you can't marshal enough energy or enough effort, look at that too.